People say that the United States is a nation of immigrants. It is common knowledge that millions of Irish, Italians, and Jews came to America. But few people realize that the Middle East was also a major source. From the 1880s until World War I, hundreds of thousands of people traveled from the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman America was a mix of different ethnic groups and religions: Syrians, Armenians, Greeks, Turks, and Kurds, Christians, Muslims, and Jews. Dr. Agaganyan is part of a movement of scholars who seek to tell true stories of immigrants from the former Ottoman Empire. How did this migration begin? Where did they work, and how did they live? This is not a story that can be discovered only in libraries or online. It is found in graveyards, in the streets, and in the ruins of old factories. One Ottoman immigrant was Halid Kuruyer.
Buradan İstanbul'a, oradan şeye gittik. Fransa'da, Marsilya'ya gittik. Marsilya'ya çıktık, orada bir ay kaldık, papır yok idi. Sonra papır geldi, bindik. 28 gece çıktık New York'a.
The largest immigration station was Ellis Island off of Manhattan, where approximately 12 million immigrants entered between 1892 and 1954. Once migrants made it through Ellis Island, where did they go? In the beginning, they went to places close to New York.
From where the World Trade Center is up there, you see the tall buildings, down to Battery Park, just a few blocks. There lived 27 different nationalities were counted here, 27 in this small neighborhood back in 1917.
Immigrants were pursuing their own future in the land of opportunities after leaving Ellis Island.
Syrians who had come in the early 1880s were already setting up stores in New York, supplying peddlers who came. So they either had notion stores or fancy goods, Holy Land goods stores.
Turks were most concentrated in towns in Massachusetts, such as Lowell, Worcester, Peabody, and Lawrence.
Lowell National Historical Park celebrates the urban textile history of the United States. And there were a lot of people who worked here, originally Yankee mill girls, but eventually this would be replaced by immigrant groups coming from around the world. First Western Europe, then South and Eastern Europe, even people from the Ottoman Turkish Empire wound up here at Lowell.
The leather industry, centered in Salem and in Peabody, Massachusetts, became the largest employers of Turkish and Kurdish workers, who often worked alongside Greeks and Armenians.
The center of the Ottoman community life in Peabody was Walnut Street, which had many coffee houses. Here, the migrants could socialize, read newspapers, visit a Muslim prayer room, find jobs and accommodation, and even receive mail.
There is one invention that can take us back in time to Ottoman America. The immigrants brought this big gramophone as a piece of decor and placed it in a cafe. This music made Turkish immigrants feel as though they were back in their homeland.
You go into the cafe, coffee shop, something like that, pay the guy a little bit of money, and he'll play you a record in your own language from back home. Something you remember and that connects you in this faraway, strange place to what you remember and believe and know about yourself.
Ottoman immigrants had also an important impact on American culture through business. On Broad Street in 1893, an Ottoman Jewish businessman named Morris Şinasi opened a small cigarette factory.
He became so successful and wealthy, and even given a Medal of Honor by the Ottoman Sultan Abdülhamid for introducing Turkish tobacco to the US.
Another remarkable Ottoman figure who had an inspiring impact on American sports was Hiranuş Agaganyan, or Madame Bey. She ran a boxing camp until her death in 1942. 14 world champions trained at her camp, including Jack Dempsey, Gene Tunney, Max Schmeling, Joe Louis, and James Cinderella Man Braddock. Imam Mehmed Ali. Under the Caliphate authority, he was made responsible for all Muslims in the United States. One of his most remarkable achievements was establishing one of the first immigrant mosques in American history. The Ottoman government established a small mosque in 1910 at Rector Street.
The members of the mosque included Ottoman students at Columbia University, as well as Muslims from different places such as Ottoman Syria, India, China, and Philippines. The Imam of the mosque was a very educated and talented figure.
Imam Mehmed Ali had further goals for Muslims in America. He was also fundraising for a proper mosque to be built in New York. However, when the war broke out, the dream was lost. Turkish immigrants were more male than female, so inevitably, some men married native-born Americans of European heritage.
My dad started that company in 1959 with my grandfather, who was also George Ahmed Yaput, and he came over from Turkey in the early 1900s.
They're both from Izmir, which was at that time Smyrna, but they come from different parts of the city. This I know just from family tradition.
My father was born in Harput. And Harput is on the hills overlooking Elazığ.
The full story of Ottoman America involves people of complex backgrounds that many Americans still don't understand or appreciate. Even if Ottoman America is no more, its spirit still lives on. Walking down Main Street in Paterson, New Jersey, one can still see Arabic and Turkish language signs. These businesses serve more recent immigrants who moved to communities and their compatriots had built 140 years ago. The rich Ottoman heritage in the United States is still waiting to be discovered, and the forgotten histories of Ottoman immigrants, whether Turkish, Kurdish, Palestinian, or Albanian, still need to be written.